Welcome to more stuff I'm building in The Sims. This is like a very special episode. I am switching channels. Um, I had been doing stuff over on Snussa Family Games for a while, but then my son kind of took that over, and that's becoming his thing. So now I'm doing my own channel that I am gonna just basically fill with whatever I want. I mean, the idea of the other channel was always to get him interested in videos, and it worked. La, he's having fun. Um, Another reason why this is a very special build, though, is this build is okay. So another reason why this is a very special build is because this is like my grandmother's house, basically. My grandmother died a couple months ago. I've been thinking a lot about her and about my childhood with her, and this is the house she lived in when we were growing up. Now, it is kind of a combination of two properties because her and my grandfather owned a camp too. And so I put some elements of the camp like in the backyard behind the garage, which you can't see yet. Ha ha ha. In your face. But I wanted to kind of show this off because I put a lot of time into making sure there were lots and lots of grandma accurate details. So like here's the backyard for you. Nice little fire pit and the canopy there that I really like. So yeah, this build is specifically, I'm going to do a little walkthrough of the house. I don't have footage of me building the house because it was very laggy and weird, so we'll just do a walkthrough, and I'll just tell you a few of my memories. We're going to do a long way turnaround here, why the heck not? Also, I have not mastered the controls, so don't expect that of me. That's the only thing I'm going to apologize for. I really one of my goals for this channel is to not apologize for being imperfect. I'm just going to be imperfect. That is the goal. Alright, so on to memory lane. My grandmother lived in a trailer across the street from a lake. I did take a few liberties, like she didn't have a moss-covered roof over her porch. That was just something I found while I was looking for custom content, and I thought that was wicked rad, so I just added it. Okay, so here's the outside. I spent a lot of time in this yard. Okay, I do want to share some memories because I didn't get a chance to go to her funeral or anything. So I remember one time being at her house, and she told me there was some mean cat. There's like some mean ass cat running around the neighborhood, and so she told me not to pet it, and I assumed that meant she didn't know I was a cat whisperer, and so that I went out and got myself attacked by a cat, which she thought was just a little bit funny. Maybe what I deserved. I mean, yeah, it was. Also, just a quick shout out to how beautiful this game is. Like, look at the background. It's just amazing. So, here's the porch. This is where you would come in. I want to go through this door. Beautiful reveal. Okay. This is the front entrance. Like, it was like a mudroom, but it was also where the kids played, and it was where all the toys were kept. And she had toys from when my mom and my aunts and uncles were kids, so there was lots of really old toys that were kind of fun to explore, and incomplete games. And there was some dating board game that just, there were basically none of the pieces left, so it was very intriguing to kind of look at. And she had a wall of pictures and stuff. So, and I actually am pretty impressed with this house. I know I built it, so that's kind of a little bit silly to say, but I got it to look pretty close to her house, and it brings back a lot of really nice memories. Oops. And you know, because all relationships are complicated, it might bring back some that aren't so great, but I did make sure to add lots of clutter, and there's lots of random Christmas decorations spread out. If you look, there's a record player there. She always played Christmas records around the holidays. That was fun. Um, then if you go through here, you end up in the dining room. I want to take you to the living room first, though. It's my Sim, who actually kind of looks a lot like my grandma. Um, so my grandma always had this really huge Christmas cactus. That's kind of what this is meant to represent. It was ginormous, and it was in front of this window. Yeah, so there's just lots of... She had lots of folk art, too, so I tried to include a bunch of that. And over the island here, she had these cool roses that were cast in resin, and they were in domes, and I didn't have anything that was kind of close to that. I think it's part of why I added those hoop arts up there. Hoop arts? It doesn't matter. Speaking doesn't always work properly. This little station over here was like where my grandpa always sat. He had mobility problems, so that was kind of like his space. And shout out to how goofily small that chair is. Like, like, can we just compare the chair to the table or the woman who's sitting in front of everything? Like, it's just insane. But anyway, so yeah. Moving on, they had this shelf of... This is where they kept their candy and stuff, and they had other goods there too, but tons of Werther's Originals over there. My grandfather was really into butterscotch. So here's the dining room. My grandmother loved to cook, and she liked to bake, and she liked to she grew herbs and canned them. So I made sure to add... There's like herbs drying. There's some kind of growing in the background over there. She also had a dishwasher in her dining room, which was interesting because her kitchen wasn't like small, but I don't even know if they used that dishwasher. But anyway, so yeah, there's some of that lovely stuff. Wall art, boop boop. Into the kitchen. Now we've got more herbs drying and more baking stuff set out. I cluttered this right up because I wanted it to be like really representative of just all the different things I associated with her. Here's all the spices that she would use for canning. Oh my god, I remember she mostly made pickles. That's like the thing I remember about what she would do. And so I associate the smell of dill with her very strongly, and actually grew a dill plant to kind of honor her this year. Oops, that light is off center. Oh, that bothers me. So yeah, down the hall here, we're gonna go. I gave her a craft room. I think in real life she really used this more for storage. But I gave her a craft room because she also was, pretty artsy, and I had a couple of blankets from her. She liked to crochet, and she sewed a little bit. But I also like, she's a grandma, so there's some Christmas presents she's stashing. I got some books, a little bit of storage here, but also a nice view of the backyard. In her house, in real life, that would have been like the neighbor's house, but can't win them all. All right, so this door over here is doing whatever it wants, so we'll just pretend like we didn't see that too. Even though I definitely dramatically pointed it out. Here's the bathroom. This was kind of fun to put together because it kind of surprises me how close I was able to get it. Just like randomly finding custom content and using stuff in the game. Like it really has the overall vibe of her place. Yeah, so now I'm going to go into the master bedroom, and that is this. Now, I didn't spend a lot of time in their bedroom growing up. So I took a lot of liberties with this one. Just kind of put some stuff around. Huge fan of the orange curtains. I think it adds to the retro vibe of the place. Also, I'm not sure my grandmother kept cookies on her dresser, but what you gonna do? um, so I added a chair over there because, like I said, my grandfather had mobility issues. So a little nod to him as well. He kind of. I tried not to leave him out of the nostalgia too much, but his passing isn't quite as fresh as hers is, so I wasn't as close with him as I was with her either, just to be fair and honest. So yeah, backyard, I added, again, we spent a lot of time hanging out at their house as a family, playing in the yard and stuff like that, so I added in certain elements of that, but there was also, like I said before, my grandparents' camping area had no electricity, no running water, and it was like, it had this little like pavilion with a picnic table in it, and then there was a fire pit right outside. So I added that here because I do have some really good memories of roasted marshmallows and hanging out. I remember there was one year I learned the word conspicuous, but I didn't know what it meant, so I was just using it for everything. I didn't have any idea what it meant. I was just playing with it and experimenting, sitting by the bonfire being like, oh, blah, 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 conspicuous. And finally my cousin was like, you really like that word, huh? And I was like, yeah. And then I got a dictionary and I figured out what it meant. And then I learned how to use it properly. Here's the garden. I put in a little garden for the honor of my grandmother because, like I said, I definitely remember her gardening. Um, yeah, just cute little stuff. I think I got this. This guitar is adorable. And this is another little addition that wasn't part of my grandmother's house, but her family have get-togethers and bonfires a lot, and they're all very musical. And so it was kind of another thing I experienced a lot growing up, where we would just sit and listen to them play music, and sometimes I live very far away now, but sometimes I even still see them having these get-togethers on Facebook, and you know, so I just put a little nod to that right there with this super cool guitar. All right, now there's this corner thing over here that I just think these mushrooms are cute. So ta-da! I put that in. Not super good with landscaping, but whatever. It's just not my favorite thing to do. I prefer the insides. Here is my grandmother's cottage, or not cottage, garage. And that I just remember that being where her laundry was. So I put in some stuff. Here's some more Christmas decorations. Let's put in a little bit of stuff here. I also remember it being relatively unfinished. Like, I left it unfinished on purpose because that is kind of how I remember it. And then if you go through here, I just blew up some cars to put in the garage. Some more Christmas decorations and storage. Yeah, so that's the house, you know? That's everything. And, yeah. And I have a blog, and maybe I think I put together a list of content for this too, if you're interested, and I'll put the links down in the description. But yeah, no, like to me, like this was such a fun build because it was just so nostalgic and so full of memories. And you know, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to my grandmother, and I didn't get a chance to go to her funeral, so it was kind of nice to just spend some time really digging deep into, like, you know, my time with her and my memories and stuff like that. So put a lot of love and care into this, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video, which hopefully will be a lot more like this with walkthrough stuff, because honestly I don't really enjoy doing the speed builds. It's a lot of stress, and I'll talk about that in a different video. Anyway, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed everything, and feel free to comment if you're watching this. Otherwise, you know, have a great day. Bye.